Rest and exercise are both essential to maintain optimal health and optimal weight. However, in this video, I am offering 3 awesome energy healing practices which directly provide autonomy over appetite. Appetite is controlled from 2 locations in the body, the gut and the brain. So these exercises are going to target both of these locations. Anybody who's tried to lose weight has experienced attempting to control calorie intake in a kind of forceful manner, like I'm just going to make myself eat fewer calories. The problem is that the body has a set point, and unless that set point is affected, the body will think that it's going into starvation mode if we try to reduce calories to a level that will actually allow for weight loss. So the body will respond by reducing energy, holding on to every last calorie. It's very common for people to get constipated if they try to eat less, and the body's like, well, I'm just not going to let go of any of this food. And so it can become very uncomfortable. Instead, we can use energy healing to reset the body's idea of how many calories it needs. And then the body will just spontaneously and naturally want fewer calories. And then when that happens, it's possible to very comfortably maintain a healthy weight over the long course of the entire lifetime without effort. All right, so the first exercise is going to focus on the gut. Over the course of a lifetime, we tend to train our gut bacteria to desire or want a particular amount of food, a particular amount of calories, and particular types of food by feeding ourselves those foods and those quantities and those types of food over the long term. The gut bacteria become accustomed to it. They sort of grow to accommodate our habits, our eating habits. And so in order to reestablish a healthier relationship between ourselves and the gut bacteria, it's necessary to open the communication flow. There are over 100,000 neural connections between the gut and the central nervous system. And these hundreds of thousands of neural connections are like the telephone wires. They're the communication system, essentially. Our gut bacteria talks to us all the time by producing various types of neurochemicals that our body is accustomed to. So if we don't eat what they expect, we can get a blast of neurotoxins that make us feel uncomfortable until we go have whatever it is that they're craving. And then if we eat something that the gut bacteria want, we'll get a flush of dopamine or serotonin or some other nice neurochemical that makes us feel good. All right, so how do we do the exercise? Close the eyes. You won't in the long run need to do this eyes closed, but for the moment it's easiest to put attention on the gut area and feel the life force, which is your body's microbiome. The bacteria in the body outnumber the cells 10 to 1. So it's really quite a huge trillions and trillions of very small but intelligent life forms reside in the body, and most of them are in the gut. When you put your loving attention on your body's microbiome, you will notice within moments a reply of love and happiness, because like any living thing in our environment, they respond to your love. Nothing is more valuable to them. That is their best food. And getting that response is a nice validation that you've made good contact and there's receptivity. The second part of the message is the vision of your highest health. But you can include anything. You can include perfect health on many levels, because the body's microbiome does support digestion, but it also supports immunity. It also supports a healthy balance of neurochemicals in the body and hormones. Gut bacteria only live about 1.5 to 2 hours. So even though the exercise takes only a few seconds for you, it can be a significant portion of the life of a gut bacteria. And this is important because their response is to produce offspring which align with your vision of highest health. This is how we cultivate and recultivate, we reset our relationship with our own microbiome and reset the way in which the microbiome responds to our eating habits. All right, that was the first exercise. In the second exercise, we're going to move to the brain. This next exercise is going to give you access to autonomic functions in the physiology. Autonomic functions include actions of the circulatory system, digestion, immune system, the filtration in the body that's done by the liver, or the skin, or the kidneys. All these functions, we think of them as going on outside the range of our conscious mind, but this particular exercise supports the ability to bring those functions to a level of awareness, which allows you to intentionally support optimal balance and energy and greatest health in those areas. Awareness on the brainstem, breathing through the nose only. Just breathe naturally. As the air comes in through the nose, notice it, the life force that's in the air, following the flow of your attention and feeding into the brainstem and awakening it. Most people feel a lot of happiness when they do this part of the exercise, partly because dopamine is produced at the top of the brainstem. Also, the third and fourth ventricles of the brain are right up there next to the top of the brainstem. It's a very simple exercise. It's very elegant and very powerful. That's all there is to it. Close the eyes, breathe through the nose. Feel the awakening of life force in the brainstem. As you do this, it will have cumulative effects, and you will start to become more and more familiar with the type of thinking that takes place in that part of the brain. And it's very powerful thinking. It's pre-thinking, it's pre-words, and it's pre-feelings, but it is your intelligence flowing in your body. And it's something that you deserve to be familiar with. All right, let us move to the third exercise. The arcuate nucleus is a very small organ. It resides in the third ventricle of the brain, and its job is to regulate appetite for food. But also, its job is to regulate appetite for sexuality. It does both. But here's the beauty of that. If you think of the appetite like a little dial, this is appetite. And if it goes this way, it's favoring food. And if it goes that way, it's favoring sex. So the little dial can go back and forth. But we know, everybody's had the experience, that when you fall in love, you lose your appetite, right? Like everybody had that experience. Who's had that experience of falling in love? That's not a coincidence. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And the reason is that when we fall in love, the appetite for that excitement and that fullness that one experiences in the love condition increases, and that causes the appetite to go away from the food. So now this is the delicate part of this process. I'm now going to look out into the audience into YouTube world, into the collective of everyone who's watching this video. And I'm going to focus my attention on the arcuate nucleus, because sometimes we can use a little support to locate a very tiny organ in our brain that we've never put our attention on before. And I want to flag that organ for you so that it's easier to find it. It's easier to feel it. It has an energy signature. So the energy signature is the energy signature of appetite. Just appetite in its sort of primordial form. Flagging the arcuate nucleus so that you can find it with your attention. So you are finding your own arcuate nucleus. We have plenty of nerve endings in the brain, so you can feel all those organs in there. They're all in there. They're all in there, and the awareness can follow that sensitivity, the sensitivity that's in the brain to that particular organ. If you're not sure, you can play that part of the video over again a few times. But you've got it located. Now, we're just going to do a little exercise so that you can feel the difference between when the pointer is toward the food or the pointer is toward sexuality. So we're going to start by taking that little pointer, taking that little appetite pointer, and pushing it over toward food. Just so that you can feel that feeling of the appetite increasing. All right. Now we're going to move just with intention, attention and intention, which are the tools of the energy healing process, right? We're going to move that dial. We're going to redial that dial back to the other side, back to the side of sexual appetite. So we become familiar with the move of the dial. This is what's important. You must become familiar with the move of the dial in order to be able to move it on your own. If you are brave, you can move the dial over to the sexual appetite. All right. Now, there is a balance point, which is ideal for optimal health. There's a place in you where that dial must sit in order for you to only desire the amount of calories that your body really needs to successfully maintain itself at the weight that is most perfect for you, that is a reflection of your own divine nature. So to identify that balance point, we reference the source of creation, the original blueprint for the physiology. That reference is coming in as a download. Comes in through the crown of the head. The perfect balance point for the body at the perfect weight. And the dial can go set right there at that perfect balance point. And again, you'll know you've reached it when you feel that bliss, that happiness flowing, comfort and happiness. And play with this. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Find your perfect balance point. You're receiving the download now, and the dial is being set to the appropriate position. But even so, different situations will call for different settings. You know, that perfect balance point, it's not necessarily like a static point. What in the body is ever static? It's more like an organic point. So it will be different at different times, slightly, but within this range that supports your body being at the most perfect weight. All right. I hope everybody enjoys this. I hope you have a lot of fun. with the new settings, the new set point in your physiology. And please let me know how it goes. Let me know how many pounds you lose. I'm looking forward to hearing from everyone. Thank you. Oh, like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.